Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to talk about two different things. The very first thing I'm going to talk about is analysis of mock test 1. So I'm going to analyze mock test 1, and next is I will try to solve part A from mock test. So I will try to solve the question which I think I can explain to you in proper manner. So without further ado, let's start it. So talking about mock test 1, if I analyze the mock test 1, the paper was not so difficult. So it is a mixture of easy and difficult questions. Particularly section A was comparatively easy. If I talk about part B, so there are some questions which you really need to think of. There are some tricky questions as well. Okay, particularly question number 27, along with knowledge of mathematics, you must have knowledge of English grammar also. Then only you can solve such questions. Okay, paper C was quite difficult. I don't say it's difficult. There are some questions which are very simple. For example, let's say 43. So this question you just have to find out matrix of the given transformation and you will get the answer directly. Okay, so overall paper was moderate. Next thing I'm going to discuss the solution of part A. So we don't have much time to do all solution of mock test 1, but I will do section wise. So in this video I'm going to just talk about part A. Okay, so if I look at question number first, what question number first says, they have given 5 positive real numbers, so namely A, B, C, D and E, and what they have given, they have given sum of all these alphabets, and the sum is 10, and these all 5 letters are positive. Okay, then they are asking about maximum value of their product A, B, C, D and E. So what will be the maximum value of this product? Okay, what they are asking. So how should we approach this kind of question? So they have given 5 alphabets and their sum is 10. So if I choose all 5 alphabets are identical, for example if I choose A, B, C, D and E, all are equals to 2, then what will be my, then obviously sum is going to be 10. Then what will be my product? Then my product will be, my product is going to be 2 raised to 5 means what? 32. Now see what will happen. This is case 1. What will happen if I try to choose a different alphabet? For example, if I choose, now see, if I choose a different alphabet, then at least one of the alphabet is going to be 1, otherwise we can't choose different. Okay, so suppose my first alphabet is 1, then what could be my other alphabets? Then it could be 3, and I can choose this C, D and E to be identical, which is equal to 2. Now see, if I, then obviously the sum is going to be 10. Then what could be my product of this all alphabets? If I try to multiply all this later, I'm going to get 2 raised to 3 means 8, 8 3s are 24, 24 1s are, then my product going to be 24. Now you observe carefully, if I try to choose distinct alphabets, I'm going to get a product less than 32. Means what? If I choose distinct alphabets, my sum is going to my sum is not going to exceed 32. Okay, so that's why 32 is my answer, maximum product. Okay, otherwise if I choose a distinct alphabet, my product is going to be less than 32. Okay, so 32 means answer B is correct. Okay, let's try to do second problem. Now let's look at second problem. What they are saying, they have given a sequence of ordered set. What I mean by ordered, so they have given, so these are the sets 2 3. Okay, next set is they have given 4 5 and 6, and they are asking about the 10th set. Okay, they are asking about let me write here. So this is my first set, this is my second set, this is my third set, so this is my third set. Okay, so what can be fourth set? 7 8 9 and 10. Okay, so if I name this as first set, second set, third set, fourth, fifth, 6 7 8 9, and they are asking about this set. Okay, now look at carefully this set. If I add 2 to the last element of previous set, I'm going to get 3 in the as the last element of next set. Okay, if I add 3 to the last element of previous set, I'm going to get 3 plus 3, 6. Similarly, what I have to add here? 4. Then what I have to add here? Oh, sorry, 15. 10 plus 5 going to be 15. In next set, I have to add 6. 15 plus 6, 21. In next set, I have to add 7. 21 plus 7, 28. In next set, I have to add 8. 28 plus 8 going to be 36. Okay. In 9 set, I am going to add 9. 36 plus 9 going to be 45. Okay. And in last 10 set, I have to add 10. So 45 plus 10 going to be 55. So last element in 10 set is going to be 55. So my answer C is correct. Okay. In third problem, they are asking about a missing number. Okay. So I will think about this problem. I can't figure out the answer in this case. So I will think about and upload answer for this. Let's talk about fourth one, what they have given. In fourth one, now see this fourth question, I have already uploaded video on how to find out the unit digit of a big numbers. So this 142 is equivalent, you finding unit digit of 142 raised to some power is equivalent to finding unit digit of 2 raised to some power. Okay, so what we do in order to find out unit digit, first we find out cycle length of 2. So what is the cycle length of 2? We already found that cycle length for 2 is 4. Okay, if you don't know how to find out cycle length, I will provide a link in description. You go and check how to find out cycle length. Okay, so cycle length in this case is 4. Next, what we do, you just simply divide this power by cycle length. If I divide 2020 by 4, so what I'm going to get a reminder, 4 5s are 20, 4 zeros are 0. You take 2 here, take this 0 down, 4 5s are 20. So reminder I'm going to get 0. So finding unit digit of 142 raised to 2020 is equivalent to finding unit digit of 2 raised to 2020. Okay, and we already know that 2020 is congruent to 0 modulo 4. So 2 raised to 0. But see, 2 raised to 0 is nothing but 2 raised to 4. Why? Because 0 is congruent to 4 modulo 4. Means what? 0 and same are same in modulo 4. Okay, and 2 raised to 4 is nothing but 16. So last digit of 16 is 6. So last digit of 142 raised to 2020 is going to be 6. So which answer is correct? So answer D is correct. Okay, let's look at question number 6. For 5 again I will have to think. They have given one grid and they are asking about how many rectangles are there. Okay, so it's a question of counting. I will think about this question as well and upload a solution. Let's look at question number 7. What they have given now. See, whenever there is a question on coding, so what they have given, so they have given some letter GUN and they have coded this GUN as H, V and O, and they are asking about code for this letter PEN. So they have given code for gun which is equals to HVO, and they are asking about what will be the code of this letter pen. So how to think about this? Whenever this kind of question asked in CSR net exam, so what we'll do, we just you try to just find out pattern given in the coding. Okay, now see what is the next alphabet of G? Obviously H. What is the next alphabet of U? Obviously V. What is the next alphabet of N? Is going to be O. So you just have to follow this pattern. What is the next letter alphabet of P? P followed by Q. What is the next alphabet of E? The alphabet of F. What is the next letter alphabet of N? Obviously O. So what will be my answer for 7th one? So 7 is going to be correct answer is 8. Try to do question number 8. What they have given, the present age of 3 persons. They have given 3 persons and their present age are given in a proportion. Okay, suppose present age of 3 person be X, Y and Z. Okay, and their proportion of present age is given to be 4 raised to 7 raised to 9. Okay, means what? The current age of first person going to be 4p, current age of second person going to be 7p, and current age of third person going to be 9p. Okay, what else they have given? They have given 8 years ago. Whenever this condition they impose, what we'll do, we will subtract 8 from the current age. Okay, so what is the current age? So 8 years ago, the sum of their ages is given to be 56. Means what? 8 years ago means what? X minus 8 plus Y minus 8 plus Z minus 8, and this is equals to 56. Now see, X, Y, Z is nothing but our 4p, 7p and 9p. So 4p minus 8 plus 7p minus 8 plus 9p minus 8 is equals to 56. Now 4p plus 7p, 11p, 11 plus 11p plus 9p, 11 plus 9, 20p, minus 8, minus 8, minus 8. Now see, minus 8 comes here 3 times, so minus 8 3 are 24 equals to 56. Okay, this 24 will go that side and become plus 24. So 24 plus 56, 6 plus 4 10, carry 1, 5 plus 2 7, 7 plus 1 8. So this is 80. So 20p equals to 40p means what? P is going to be 80 by 40, sorry 80 by 20. So answer is going to be 4. So value of P we got 4. Okay, now what is the current age of first person? 4 into value of P we just have found out 4. So this is 16. So current age of second person is 7p means what? 7 into 4, this is 28. And current age of third person is 9 into 4, which is equals to 36. So what are the current ages of first, second and third person? 16, 28 and 36. So which answer will be correct? So option B is correct. So let's try to do a next problem. Problem number C. This is very interesting. Problem number 10. They have given number of diagonal of convex duodecagon. Now see how to pronounce this word, duodecagon. What is duodecagon? A polygon having 12 sides. Okay, so I will give formula for any arbitrary polygon. So this is the formula: a number of diagonals of n-gon. N-gon means what? A polygon, a regular polygon having n sides. So this is the formula you must remember: n minus 3 by. You can verify, and this formula works only for n greater than equals to. We can verify. Suppose if I take any square, okay, so how many diagonals are there? Obviously 1 and 2, so 2 diagonals there. Let's try to verify this formula for n equals to 4. So n equals to 4 means what? This polygon having 4 sides. If I substitute n equals to 4 here, I am going to get 4 minus 3, 1 upon 2 means what? So there are 2 diagonals are there. Okay, if I substitute n equals to 12 in this formula, I am going to get 12 minus 3, 9 divided by 2. So 2 6 are 12 means what? 6 9 are 9 6 are 54. So there are 56 diagonals are there in duodecagon, a polygon having 12 sides. So which answer will be correct? Answer B is correct. Okay, for 10 answer B is correct. Let's try to solve problem number 11. What they are saying, they are asking a missing number. So see, this is what they are given. Okay, so they have given some numbers inside these boxes: 5, 8, 2, 7, 9, minus 5, 5, 9, 9, and they are given question mark. They want us to find out what will be in number in place of question mark. Okay, now look at carefully. If I look at this 5, what is the 5? The average of this 8 and 2. Okay, if I take average of 8 and 2, how to find the average? Use just sum 8 and 2 and divide by number of elements we are adding. So 2. So 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 divided by 2 going to be 5. Similarly, if I take average of 7 and 9 is going to be 8. 9 and minus 5 is going to be 2. 5 and 9 is going to be 7. 9 and 9 average is 9. And 9 plus this number. So 9 and this question mark, if I take average of both, I'm going to get 5 minus 5. So means what? If I assume this question mark as x, then 9 plus x divided by 2 is going to be 5. If I multiply this 2 here, I'm going to get 9 plus x equals to minus 10. So x is going to be minus 10 minus 9 means what? Minus 19. So which option will be correct? Option A is going to be correct. This problem already has someone solved in a Telegram group, but still I am solving those who wouldn't understand. So how many digits are there in 3 raised to 16? Okay, means if I ask you how many digits are there in 2 raised to 4, so 2 raised to 4 means 16. So there are 2 digits. On similar line, they are asking how many digits will be there in 3 raised to 16. So how to do this? So first, 3 raised to 16 means what? 3 square raised to 8 means what? 9 raised to 8. Okay, this is same as 9 square raised to 4. 9 square raised to 4 means what? 81 raised to 4. Okay, now see, finding number of digits in 81 raised to 4 is equivalent to finding number of digit in 80 raised to 4. Okay, it doesn't matter if I subtract 1, so I'm going to get same number of digits. Okay, now see, 80 raised to 4 means what? 8 into 10 raised to 4. So 8 raised to 4 into 10 raised to 4. 10 raised to 4 means what? 10 digits. Now look at carefully. 8 raised to 4 means what? 8 raised to 4 means 8 square into 8 square. 8 square means what? 64 into 64. So how many digits will be there if I multiply 64? So what will be in fact 64 square? So how to find out 64 square? You just make 3 slot. So 4 square is 16, carry 1. 6 square is 36. 6 4s are 24, 24 2s are 48, 48 and 1 49. So answer is 4096, means what? There are 4 digits. So there are 4 digits here. Okay, so here 4 digits, and 10 raised to 4 means again 4 digits. So we will have 4 plus 4 digits, means what? There are 8 digits in the if I express this in a decimal form, so there are going to be 8 digits. So which answer will be correct? So answer D is going to be correct. Okay, question number 13. So what question number 13 says, what is the maximum sum of the numbers of Saturdays and Sundays in the leap year? So they are asking about maximum sum of the number of Saturdays and Sundays in a leap year. First of all, understand what is leap year. So leap years is a year with an extra day. Okay, now how many weeks are there in a year? So let's try to find out. 365 divided by 7. If I reduce this 365 modulo 7, so I'm going to get, so 7 5s are 35. If I take this 5 down, 7 2s are 14, means what? In a year there are 52 weeks. Okay, with an extra day. Okay, so 52 days, 52 weeks plus 1 extra day. Okay, and also this we have one as an extra day. So how many Saturdays and Sundays are there in 52 weeks? So in a week there is a Saturday as well as Sunday. So 52 into this 2 will be 52 2s are 104. So there are 104 Saturdays and Sunday. So they are asking maximum. So in order to consider maximum, this 2 extra days has to be either Saturday or Sunday. So suppose this is Saturday and this is Sunday. So means what? We have to add 2 extra days. So maximum sum will be 106. Okay, so which option will be correct? So option C is going to be correct. Okay, next 14 is very easy. You simply add all the powers of 4, you are going to get. So answer for this 14 is B. This is simple. This is something interesting. Question number 15. What it says, they have given one equation in trigonometric equation, sin A equals to cot B. Now what is cot B? Cot B is nothing but cos B upon cos. We will do the hit and trial method. If I consider A and B both equal to 0, then what will happen? So cos B upon sin B. So if I substitute B equal to 0 here, I'm going to get sin 0. Sin 0 means what? 0. So we have denominator 0. So this term is going to be this term will not be finite value. Okay, so this option will discard it. Why? Because we are getting here finite value 0, but on right hand side I'm going to get infinity, because as soon as we have 0 in denominator, I'm going to get infinity, because cos B means what? Cos 0 is again 1, so 1 by 0 is going to be infinity. So this option will discard. If I consider second option, A is equals to pi by 2 and B is also equal to pi by 2, means what? I'm going to get 1 on the left hand side, because sin pi by 2 is 1. Okay, next if I consider cos pi by 2 means what? 0 upon sin pi by 2 is 1, means what? 1 equals to 0. So this option is also going to discard it. If I consider third option, we have now A equal to 0 and B equals to pi by 2. Okay, If I substitute a equal to 0 on left hand side, I'm going to get 0. If I substitute b equals to pi by 2 on the right hand side, I'm going to get, this is 0 upon sine pi by 2 is 1, so 0. So we are getting left hand side and right hand side equals, so this option is going to be correct. No need to check fourth option, because this is part A question, so only one has to be true. So answer for 15 is C. Okay, so we have solved almost all 15 questions. So there are some question like question number 3, question number, okay, yeah, these two questions I will need to think about. Okay, if you know answer for these two questions, detailed solution, please upload on the Telegram group. Thank you everyone for watching. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe my channel. Also press the bell icon, so that whenever I post my new video, you are going to get a notification. Thank you.